It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And good afternoon, whoever's out there, and if anybody shows up. So we got Kingpin here a bit ago. See if anybody shows up for the live part of this one. So, travel in 2022 with a focus on Second Amendment. Is that even possible? And is it feasible? And whatever other questions there are. So let's dig in. Let's see. I don't think I got anything over here. We do have a poll going. So if you're here on the stream live, then you can go over here and click on the poll and vote on it. And then we'll take a look at the results of that poll. So one of the few things YouTube gives us as a interactive feature with these live things. Closing some stuff on other screens. So we're going live and we're going to see what all is out there as far as possibilities for 2A, what kind of events we got going on this year, etc. All right, so let's take a look under firearms events, what kind of stuff we might actually have going on a yearly basis. It looks like in January, we've got stuff like SHOT Show that's already happened. The Antares shoot was something that happened along with SHOT Show. The Army Navy Military Expo is an industry trade show for surplus stores. It's pretty awesome. I really enjoy going that. That also happened in January. And then there's an antique gun show. So I went to all three of those things this year. Next we get to February. The big thing that happens in February is back east, and that's up in Pennsylvania. And it's called the Great American Outdoor Show. That's been happening since 1995, and that's unique in a couple of things. First, it happens in one spot. A lot of these firearms-focused events travel. They move around. So that it happens in the same place every year is not unique, but it's different, or it's it's different than some of the others. And then it happens in Pennsylvania, so it's accessible to people on the East Coast. And another feature of it that is unique, let me think. I think it might be unique to it specifically, is that it lasts 9 days. So that gives a chance to run over 2 full weekends. And that's a long show, both for the people that attend it. Well, it's an opportunity for people to attend it, but it's a long show for the people that choose to be a vendor there, because that's a lot of obligation, 9 days worth of keeping employees there or attending and having, either a business open with the divided attention or shutting down your business. So unlike some of the other shows, that one, I think you're going to have, just a different, I haven't been to it, but I think you would see a different attitude, if nothing else, a different type of exhibitor or vendor there. It's also, you can buy stuff at that show. So that one's pretty cool. It's also the only thing that really happens in February that people are looking at a national level that I'm aware of. February is often, the weather's not consistent and it's often pretty cold depending on where you're at. And I think this actually, the thing we're talking about, the Great American Show, that happens in the winter. So it's happening in winter, but it's happening for people that are used to winter. So it's not a big deal. The other things that do move around and whatnot, though, don't tend to be during February. It's just the weather's too bad, I think. So the Great American is pretty much the only thing we see in February, other than some rallies. And rallies don't get the chance to pay attention to weather. They typically pay attention to legislative seasons or sessions and that kind of thing, when bills are introduced or when they might be voted on. So we see the rallies happening towards the beginning of the year typically, but we don't have enough rallies over enough time, at least in my opinion, to get any good data on rallies. So, but they seem to be more towards the beginning of the year, although there are rallies throughout the year, and we'll definitely be taking a look at rallies when we're focusing on what to do for a Second Amendment focused road trip, right? All right, so now we're into March. That's where we're at. We're filming this live in March. So some of the things that typically happen in a typical year would be the NRA annual meetings and events. Now that's moved to later in the year, and I don't know if that was in reaction to something or they just did that. But earlier, or in past years, that had tended to be a March event. There was a thing called Shockwave in the Desert, but we'll keep moving. That was a thing out here in Arizona. The Girl in a Gun National Conference is in April. Now, I don't know. I think I put this infographic together. I probably should have put a date on it back in last year. So I'm not sure. I'll have to look and see where the Girl in a Gun conference is. Not a girl, so I'm probably not invited to that, but girls might be. So there's that. Then there's Knob Creek that ended, so that's not on the agenda anymore. We've got the Wannemacher Gun Show, the world's largest gun show. That's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That happens twice a year, once in April and once in November. Or is it October? I think it's November. And then Kalash Bash, Texas. I'll have to look and see. One of the things we'll do today is to see if the Kalash Bash, I know it's happening, but we'll see the dates on that. And that is sort of a mix between a competition and an exposition. Sort of it's a competition that intends or assumes that there's going to be spectators, and they make a spectacle out of the competition, if that makes sense. They blur the line between cosplay and comic cons and a shooting event, and they have a lot of fun with it, and enthusiasts come out and meet up, and they invite others, but it's not your typical sport-focused firearms competition, and it's not a firearms-only focused firearms competition. It's more of a social competition with firearms being the theme, if that makes sense, or Kalashnikovs, I guess, being the theme. Anyway, that's in Texas, and it's, I think, third or fourth year now, fourth or fifth year even, maybe. Then we'll go into May. You've got the Blade Show, and I think I seen the Blade Show was in Texas this year, and I don't remember that from looking it up earlier in the year, so that we'll take a look at that. Firearms Industry Compliance Conference. I don't think anybody except me and like some cops want to see that, but that's where the industry gets together and talks about nerdy things like regulation and compliance and enforcement, I think. I know the regulation and compliance part. I don't know about the enforcement. But you think about industry standards, and you think about, well, like, I don't know if that's so much NFA or FFL compliance as much as like making sure that a 9mm is the right size to fit in all the 9mm. There's the mechanical, physical compliance. That stuff sounds kind of nerdy and interesting. I think that's what it is. Never been to it. Then you get the POMA, Professional Outdoor Media Association Conference, and I think that's turning into some sort of spectacle. So that's turning into show up and make some money type of situation. Then you've got the Small Arms Review East. I have that one in black because that doesn't happen all the time, and it's not always on the schedule, and it probably isn't this year. World War II Weekend and Fly-In at the Mid-Atlantic Air Museum. I must have put this together when Bob was around because he pays attention to the air stuff more than I did. And we would have a whole nother list if we were going to include all the air shows. So I'm probably not going to, you're not going to see too many air shows. This is probably some kind of war reenactment. So it counts as guns, even though it's airplanes. But then we have the FAST, the Full Auto and Trade Show. Excuse me, FAST, Full Auto Shoot and Trade Show, which is in Oklahoma FAST. And that's, I haven't been to it yet because it's in the middle of the freaking heat. And if I'm going to leave the heat of Arizona, I'm not going to go to the muggy, gross heat of Oklahoma. I'm going to go to the cool, refreshing coolness of the north, right? So I've never been to the Oklahoma Fast Shoot, but that's held by Mike Friend, our friend of ours. And cool dude, and it seems like a cool event. I haven't been to it yet, though. July, I don't think anything happens in July. If you know of a Second Amendment thing happening in July, please let me know, because I literally don't have anything even on the list. We got August, your South Sports South, which is the shooting and outdoor sporting goods show, sort of like SHOT Show. It's a little different because it's sort of for portions of the industry that are affiliated with Sports South, which is a distributor. So it's a wholesale distributor who has enough clout or reach or whatever that they have their own little tiny SHOT Show. And it happens towards the end of the year. And if you ever watched Gun Blast, their whole thing was going to that months before SHOT Show and getting a sneak peek at a whole bunch of different things. They created a whole like function of going to that show early and getting a peek at some of the new products. Mostly FUD stuff because it was Gun Blast, so old revolvers and shotguns and things. Let's see. Then you got TriggerCon that quit happening. That was up in the South or in the North Pacific Northwest. In September, they used to have the Gun Rights Policy Conference happen each year. I hope that's not going to be virtual this year, but I fear it might be. That used to be an opportunity for all the different gun owners' rights groups to get together. And what that means is the human beings that are the gun owners' rights groups got together, and then they could strategize, do some intel after action, like let each other know what's happening, what they might need, the direction they see the future, and a way to collaborate and encourage everybody getting to know each other. Really awesome event, and it's sad that it's been virtual for 2 years now. Then you get the law enforcement operation. So what is this called? I don't know what this one is. Law enforcement something or another conference. No idea what that one is. Some kind of law enforcement conference. Then you get Modern Day Marine. That is where a bunch, like SHOT Show for the Marines. They try to sell everything to the Marines. Sort of like they take regular SHOT Show booths and then they spell everything easier and make shorter words, and then the Marines buy everything. Then you got the Texas Firearms Festival. I think that quit happening back in the day. Then you get the NRA Carry Guard Expo. Guess what also quit happening? That one. Then the Precision Rifle Expo. I'm not sure about that one because that's more of something I'm not into. So I don't know if that keeps happening. Plus, I wouldn't get invited to that. You have to be good. There used to be a bullpup shoot in September and this gun and knife show. I don't know why that's in there. Then we got October is your USCCA convention. Now, I don't know if that's, or I guess the expo they call it. I don't know where that's going to be or when, so we'll take a look. Outdoor retailer, nobody really cares about, so I'll quit putting it in here, but that's sort of a SHOT Show for sporting goods stores. So not for surplus stores and not for gun shops, but plain old sporting goods stores. So take SHOT Show, remove the guns and the bullets and replace it with like kayaks and tents. And that's what outdoor retailer is. So the knives are still there and the jackets and the boots and stuff are all still there. But instead of showing you the military version, they're showing you the tight jeans, skinny jeans version of everything. All the bright colors and neon and whatever kids are into these days for walking around in the outsides. Then you get the Nagasua Expo, which is the North American Sporting Goods Wholesalers Expo. And that's another one that happens towards the end of the year. And is that the one? No, actually, that's the one that Gun Blast went to. Sports South is really just gun shops go to that one. Gun shops get invited to go to that one. But it's the same kind of concept. You can go there and see the different products and get an idea of what kind of products you might want to have in your store. And then they open it up to media. North American Sporting Goods Wholesaler, same thing. It's just that it travels, and that's the one that happens a little bit later in the year, a little bit closer to SHOT Show. It's kind of right before Christmas. It's kind of a bad time to have an event like that because they show you a bunch of products that aren't going to be available until next year, right before Christmas. So that just seems like a frustrating thing to show people. Then you got the AZCDL, is our Arizona Citizens Defense League, has their annual meeting in October, but I think the Virginia Citizens Defense League has theirs in like January, And did Connecticut already do theirs? Like each of the states do their own state level organizations meeting somewhere throughout the year. And I'd be happy to put them in here. I saw that as we were talking here, Kingpin put in this nation's gun show, which is a giant gun show in Virginia in April, and then in June, also in July. So that's at whatever Dulles Expo Center is. Is that how you say that? And I haven't been to that one yet. I've tried. I've been in the area 3 times now on tour, but never at a time when I could hit that show. And I think if I remember right, that one year I missed it by just a few weeks. It's just that there was no way to work it in there. Really would like to see that. It's just tough to hang out in that side of the country and just hang too, because it's expensive and there's just a lot of stuff to do there. So anyway, thanks for posting that one. If anybody knows of their state level annual meetings, I'd be happy to put them in here. They're not necessarily travel stuff, but we're kind of looking at the calendar right now to know what events are out there so that we can use these events as waypoints on both the calendar, but also on a map to attempt to make the most complete tour for Second Amendment focused stuff in 2022. All right, so we just got done with October, or we're about halfway through October. So state level 2A organizations, whatever their annual meetings are. Then you got the Texas Firearms Festival, and gone. Big Sandy. I don't know why Texas Firearms Festival is in there. It's already in here. Sloppy editing. Is this from the book? I think this is from the book. So I was probably doing some copying and pasting and didn't realize I hadn't edited it enough to remove that extra version of Texas Firearms Festival. But anyway, Big Sandy is the shoot out here in Arizona. Most people don't go to it because it's rugged and it's not for the meek or timid. You have to go out in the middle of nowhere and then stay out there, or like really do a lot of driving because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, literally. And there's nothing around there like hotels or water or anything. So to go there, you either have to take your camper up into the hills over washboard roads, or drive up there in a car and car camp. That's pretty much your options. Or be stranded out there. I have seen people stranded out there. I've done it myself, just gone out there in regular vehicle without a bunch of camping apparatus and just put your feet up on the passenger side and sleep in the car. I've done that. And then you got, I don't know why I put 2A rally in there, Red October in Nevada. So if that's still happening, kind of another version of the, where do you go, Kalash Bash, Texas, would be the Red October happening in, where's the image for it? Red October happening in Vegas. That started out happening in Utah, then it moved to Vegas, and pretty interesting concept. Much like Kalash Bash, instead of Kalash Bash is maybe a little bit tweaked towards like we're online and we're friends and we're going out to this place and people are welcome. Red October is a little bit more like we're going to do this thing and it's going to be crazy and you're welcome. Show up and be part of it. So it's more of like in Vegas, asking people to show up, and then they're like a Comic-Con or a cosplay with the Kalashnikov theme, and they do this competition sort of that with, you know, you're welcome to watch the different competitions. They actually have multiple competitions at Red October, and then there's booths at the bays at this elaborate range, an outdoor range with lots and lots of bays, and you can just walk around like if you're at a bazaar or a swap meet or something, except that you go up to a table or a somebody with some kind of product or some kind of system or service, and you walk up to their table and their booth, and it's at a bay at the outdoor range. And if they're selling a suppressor or ammunition or a trigger or a gun, you know, they're showing it to you, and then you can pull the trigger and shoot at a target or, you know, the hill or whatever. And really interesting kind of a merge between a swap meet and a gun show and a competition shooting event and just a good time with guns involved. It's a really neat evolution of the whole thing, and it's focused on Kalashnikov. So there's going to be people walking around in full Russian garb, and then somebody will walk around and maybe wearing some kind of cosplay looking thing like a video game. I really don't know. And then somebody will be walking around in, you know, their shooting gear, and somebody's walking around like a competition shooter with all their spandex and skinny jeans on. And then somebody's got a whole rig on, or, you know, all the get up and gear that somebody might wear for some kind of operation. And, you know, it's a time where people can have fun and get into whatever they want to get into and share that with other people by being in, you know, living it. There's a big swap meet where they set up an area there where you can just bring your own stuff and have sort of like a gun show where I don't think you have to pay for the table. You just kind of show up and lay your stuff out and people can buy it. Really, really cool concept. Again, focused on Kalashnikov. So if somebody's like adverse to 7.62x39 or can't handle the awesomeness of the Kalashnikov platform, they might not like it, but they could easily do the same thing for 9mm or tiny little guns or guns made out of plastic or guns that have the perfect grip angle or whatever the little niche kink that people have. They can make their own like version of that, and that would be pretty neat. Lastly, we got November, the Tulsa Arm Show, that Wannemacher gun show I mentioned. And then in December, we have a big gun show here in Arizona that is part of the Small Arms Review magazine. And that's a giant gun show, the biggest gun show this side of Tulsa. In fact, the largest gun show, literally the largest gun show west of Tulsa, happens at the Arizona State Fairgrounds. And then the Small Arms Review has an entire building, basically the size of a normal gun show, that's dedicated to full auto, bell-fed subguns and AOWs and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's your typical year. And I think I have most of that stuff in the calendar. So we're going to zoom back out over here and see how interested people are in being part of more of this. But here's the deal. That's the stuff that's on the calendar of events each year. The next thing would be try to figure out which of these things are happening this year and then where. Then when, and using the power of both a calendar and a map, figure out if it's possible to go to every single one of these events and all the others that we missed, because this is barely any of them, right? So here's another list of them. You got SHOT Show, Antique Show, blah, 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 Outdoor Show. So where's the NRA show going to be this year? Does anybody know? So what I usually do is just type it into a search engine and go find out. NRA Annual Meeting 2022, May 27th. So we'll go back up here and see if I got it in there under May. I got the, oh, that's the wrong one. No, I don't have it in here. Interesting. So I don't have it in there. So I need to get that in there, May 27th. Oh, no. Yeah, I do have it in here. I got to look at the right date. All right. The only thing I need is to get a picture in there. So let's grab that picture real quick. If nobody minds. I'm just going to get this picture in here real quick. Take this over here and log in. Come on. All right, so let me see if I'm missing any comments over here. We got the one about the Virginia gun shows. Anyone heard why the NRA said they are neutral on the bill that just passed? No, how would anybody know? The one at Dulles is like Tulsa gun show? No. That can't be. Not as big as Tulsa. I still would have trouble thinking that it's like the Tulsa one, only because the Tulsa one has so many cowboy guns. I could see the one in Virginia being like a bunch of Pennsylvania rifles and Kentucky rifles and like Revolutionary War stuff. For some reason, I feel like there would be more Revolutionary War stuff and Civil War stuff for sure, like back east. We don't really get Civil War stuff out here at all. Isn't the NRA show in Texas? Yeah, it's in Houston at the George R. Brown Convention Center, May 27th to the 29th. It's going to be their 151st annual meeting. And that's the real thing. It's the annual meeting. So if you want to be distracted by the event, the exhibits, they call it, which is kind of like the SHOT Show, little mini SHOT Show. What's really going on, though, is it's an ability for the members to get together. Now let's go back to that calendar for a second. If you think about, can I go back? No, that didn't do it. If you think about the other stuff that happens in May, going back to the calendar here and looking at May, if we go back a little ways, maybe before some of y'all were born, if you go back to May 21st of 1977, the NRA annual meeting was in May that year, and it was in Cincinnati. And a group of people who were dissatisfied with the board of the NRA's decision to move the NRA from Washington, D.C. to New Mexico and to back down on any kind of law, paying attention to any kind of political things or laws, but instead go be a hunting organization to help hunters. They'd been successful in hunting things, so they were going to leave politics and go to hunting, and leave DC and go to New Mexico. And a group of the members were not satisfied with that idea, so they put out a suggestion to members that said, hey, are you interested in a different alternative for our organization? And that had to do with leaving the NRA in Washington, D.C. and paying attention to things like, this is 1977. This is 9 years after the 1968 Gun Control Act. 68. This isn't even 10 years later. This is 9 years. They're still living in the repercussions, just like in the assault weapons ban, which was only 10 years long. This was like the 9th year, right, of the assault weapons ban. How many people remember living through that? I do. So the 9 years after the 1968 Gun Control Act, which was the first firearms law at a federal level since 1934, 70-something years earlier, which was the first federal legislation since 170 years earlier. So in these people's lifetime, they'd seen national legislation come out of nowhere for the first time. And as a reaction to that, the membership of the NRA was kind of like any membership, just minding their business. And a couple of people, Neil Knox and some others, came up with a different strategy than going to New Mexico, and suggested to the membership and contacted them through some kind of auto dialer, the little machines that would make phone calls back in the olden days, and then newsletters. And I don't think there was fax machines yet. Might have been fax machines. No, not in 1977. So it was just auto dialers. He used an auto dialer and newsletters and an article in Shotgun News. So through the First Amendment and the right to free press and the right to free speech, he was able to get out some information to the members, and all those members at the meeting in 1977 on May 21st at noon, I think it was, they all took off their whatever hat they were wearing and put on an orange hat. And that was significant enough to show the board that the NRA was not interested in moving to New Mexico. And that was called the Cincinnati Revolt, when the leadership had been perceived soft on gun control, was replaced by a new board of directors. I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but let's remember that this is a meeting of the NRA and not just the exhibits. Is it a strategy that since then they've made it more about the exhibits? I don't know. That's up to everybody. But yeah, the NRA show is in in May, and it's in Houston, and it's the meeting. So this is when members can show up and voice their concern. They can show up at the actual board of directors meeting and ask questions like, when are you going to get rid of Wayne, or whatever your question might be. And yeah, it's an NRA meeting. All right, so anyway, that's happening. And then well, I guess that's the only other question that was out here, or any other comment that was out here. Let's see. So then let's go back to, I think I have already done most of them, except for, looks like, I did have NRA in there. So I think I've already updated most of the year's events, minus events that had not yet been announced. So let's go look for that gun rights policy conference. That one has not yet been announced last time I looked. So I just like to take the thing, highlight it, and then just drag and drop. And then you don't have to type nothing. And we can go to here. And 37th. All right, it looks like it'll be happening in real life over the span of 3 days. The conference will be held in person at the Dallas Convention Center. So this is where the Gun Rights Policy Conference was in 2017. So I'm trying to remember this hotel. Oh no, now I remember. You park along the side there in the back. It's right next to the airport, and you park in the back there, and it was good size. It was okay. I think they complained about the coffee being expensive there. Like it was hundreds of dollars to refill the coffee, they were saying. Anyway, so now we have that. So we'll definitely put that into the calendar here. I did not have that one in here, if I remember right. And that is in, come on, September 30th. Yep, I don't have it in here yet. All right, so now we know that there is going to be a gun rights policy conference, and it will be in Texas. So I'm guessing that the AmCon, let's type in AmCon. Actually, there's two M's in AmCon. I'll bet you that'll be in person and in Texas also. Let's find out. Has anybody heard about that? It says the 5th annual 2001. So it doesn't look like they have the AmCon thing up to date yet. The workshop will take place on 2001. Wait, 2021. So yeah, they have not yet updated the AmCon one. Big Sandy, I don't think Big Sandy had the dates for October yet. Really? 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 Stupid. Make me type in shoot. Yep. The largest machine gun shoot in the world, which is what it is now. So if we go to events, look at their fancy website now. So we got three matches fall shoot, 14, 15, 16 October. So now we know when the Big Sandy one is. And the USCCA. Do we know when that one is already? I think we do. Let's go double check. Where do I have it? I guess I didn't put it down here. Nice. So we'll just type it over here. Who's going to any of these? Anybody going to any of these? These I would consider industry events, maybe community events. Fort Worth, November 11th and 13th. You kidding me? So, October, November. How often do we got to go to Texas this year? What's up with Texas? What did Texas? Everybody's in the pocket of big Texas this year. So we got USCCA in Texas. We got AmCon in Texas. There was something else that was happening in Texas this year. Oh, Blade Show. So let's type in Blade Show. Blade Show isn't really a gun show, but it's Blade Show. Blade Show, choose your Blade Show. So now there's 3 Blade shows all of a sudden. All right, well, this is happening. I don't know if Wield is out there, but he's been to Blade Show before. So the first Blade Show is in Texas in March. Then there's a Blade Show in Georgia in June. And then there's a Blade Show in Salt Lake City in October. What do you know about that? So first off, Where do knives get off having 3 blade shows? We only have 1 shot show, and there's way more guns than there is stupid blades, and more people like guns than they like blades. So this seems like a massive ripoff. Some sort of front, some sort of agenda from the knives. Trying to take over, perhaps, trying to marginalize gun owners. I don't know. But yeah, now we got 3 blade shows to put on the list. It's getting to be frustrating. There's a lot of stuff to do now. Are you able to keep up? Is this too much for you? Maybe we should quit. Maybe 2A isn't that big a deal. Let's go take a look at the poll and see what people think. So is travel important for 2A? 75% of the 16 votes. That's a lot of votes for a live chat. 16 votes. Remember, it's free to vote. So if you haven't voted, you're missing out. You're not getting all the rewards and accolades of being a voting member of the panel today. 16 votes, 75% yes, travel lets 2A grow and expand, and then 25% says some travel is important. Those people are not as interested in traveling, but they feel it's important. Then one of the question was, travel is not a factor for 2A. Those people do not feel as though travel is an issue. And then there's people that think that 2A is not to be traveled. It's not for traveling. All right, so yeah, these blade people count these tiny little blade in your fingernail clippers as a blade. You know they do. They're acting like it's a big deal, like, oh, it's a machete or whatever. All these southern shows don't dig on that. And Texas in the summer, no, Texas in the after, these are all in the not Texas in the summer, so you don't have to worry about that. At least not with these shows. All right, what other things are we missing that are good, that are worth looking at? NRA, got it. Shockwave doesn't happen. Girl in a gun. Pretty sure that already happened. Do I have it here? No. Because of sexism. I only have male shows down there. Girl and a gun. National Conference. See, I don't have to type conference because the robots are going to type it for me. April to May. So there you go. You can celebrate. I know I put that in there because I remember having to pull this image. The girls didn't make it easy for me to hork their image. I had to clip it out of here myself. So I know I got that one in there. I don't think you can go to it unless you're a girl. So should I put it on the list? I feel like they're excluding us. So what am I supposed to do? We'll be aware that it is happening, but we're not invited. What else is there? Modern day Marine. I've asked Marines I know if they go to that, and they went, nah. So I don't think they go to that. I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? Somebody out there know what I might be missing? Don't see any comments about what I'm missing. I know there's a bit of a lag, so let me know if I'm missing anything. Otherwise, we'll go with these items for now, and we'll next open up the technology of mapping. So now we're going to start to not just think about these things as, oh, theoretical items on a timeline or a calendar, but instead what they really are, boom, physical locations on our sphere or platter, depending on how you, which science you're choosing to go with. Although, no, see, nobody's saying anything. So let's dig in. First one. Dallas, Texas Gun Rights Policy Conference. Come on, really? Just put it in there. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate the mentioning it. I like to do that too when I join the chat. Let people remind people that thumbing up is a way that we can interact with the platforms and be part of this whole thing instead of just a little ball in the pinball game. We could be a bumper. It can be a paddle if you want. It could even be a button if you act enough, if you do enough stuff. So let's see. We'll go directions, and now we'll tell it to start in Tucson. This is where I live here. Just because you can do this as your own mental exercise or theoretical exercise and put your own location in there. If you want to do it right now and follow along, we can compare how long and how many miles, I guess, each of our routes would be. So if I only went to a gun rights policy conference, would I only go to the gun rights policy conference? Hell no, because I would also go to 1, 2, 3 museums that I really want to hit. So there's 4 gun museums I want to hit. Those gun museums are in the Panhandle of Texas in Amarillo. They are in Arkansas, in whatever town this is, Fort Smith. And what's the other one? It's not that one. It is up here somewhere. Oh, no, wait. The one is in Rogers, and the other one is in, I know it's on this crazy road over here somewhere in the middle of nowhere, but it's on this crazy road in the middle of nowhere somewhere. So it's a good pain to get to. But 2 museums I want to check out, a 3rd one in Texas. And if I'm driving, I'm hitting those museums. So those are definitely going to be on my route, but this is just one location. How am I going to do this? I think I have to open up a notepad now. All right, I got the hiccups, so I'm going to have to deal with that here. All right, so here's a notepad, and the first thing we'll put in here is Dallas, and let's get the rest of the data, September 30th, and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do this, like this, I guess. And then it is the Gun Rights Policy Conference. All right, so that's the first item. We had to start somewhere. Let's start with the thing that's the most 2A thing of all the 37th Annual Gun Rights Policy Conference. How old are you? Right? How old are you? This conference is 37 years old. So this conference in 1984 or whatever that was, Alan Gottlieb was like, you know what? Let's get all the gun owners' rights group at a national and local level together, local, state, and national level together, and let's see what happens. Didn't quite get rid of the NFA, but it created a bunch of momentum, and then that created new organizations, and those organizations started, got other people together, brought more facets and brought more perspective on the fight, got us more resources and more humans into the mix. And eventually we get to 2022 where you were involved and now you're part of this fight. And we're all, hands on the blanket. We're all bucket yankers in the bucket brigade or whatever the hell you want to look at it, drops in the flood. And now we're even stronger than before. So this is probably the most 2A thing you could do. If you're going to do something, and you're like, 2A is so difficult and it's so expensive and I'm scared to do 2A or whatever do you do? And you're like, well, you know what? I'm going to do one thing ever. And that should be go to Gun Rights Policy Conference, more than SHOT Show, more than stupid NRA show, more than worthless USCCA show, more than the Blade show, and more of these other things. This is all 2A. So many people in this room have been to it. Kingpin has been to it. Hasn't he? Am I thinking of, no, I'm thinking of Roll Call, sorry. Roll Call's been to it. Well, that's it. Nobody else has been to it. Called you out. Nobody's been to it. Nope, nobody in here has been to it. But it's pretty awesome. You go there, and then you see all these people, and you go, oh, wait a minute. These are all just regular old people. And then you go, wait a minute. I'm a regular old people, too. I can do this. That's pretty neat. Also, you figure out like, oh, that regular person is, anyway, there's a lot that you can do at Gun Rights Policy. That's why we picked it first. AmCon happens right in front of it. I don't ever get invited to AmCon, so I'll just crash it if I go. Next would be the Big Sandy shoot. That's in March. Oh, look at what they're doing. Look at this. Real wise. Real wise. So here's what happens when somebody starts to make it difficult for you to do your horking, just go around them. You don't need to work inside of their little sandbox. Let's see. Anything out here tell us when it is, where it is? No. So let's type in 2022. We'll get around this. We will not have to type. Boom, suckers. I ain't typing nothing. So now we can go up here to March because it's ahead, and then we can go Big Sandy is a live firearm festival. Nice. So guess who believes firearms festivals are the thing to call it now, and they're trying to turn theirs into one. Actually, it's probably going to be one, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. They've actually done stuff more than just the machine gun shoot in the past. It's just that I take for granted that they've been doing it for so long that they've experimented with things and quit doing it, that these clash bashes and stuff are just now getting around to doing. So you could say that Big Sandy has already forgotten more stuff than Clash Bash has ever done, because that's true. Big Sandy started out with just a bunch of people shooting in Arizona, and a bunch of people kept showing up and watching them, so they finally said, all right, just show up and watch us. And this all started in the forums way back in the day, and then eventually they bought their own property and brought even more people out, and it's even awesomer and bigger and better and freer and libertier. All right. Oh, crap. I forgot to put the October one in there. So we know that there's an October one. Special extra credit if anybody remembers the dates of the October Big Sandy. Because I don't. So we'll just put in question marks. It's probably the 27th, though. It is. And what's awesome about it that you don't get in the videos, the biggest thing that you don't get is the noise and the sonic, I don't know what they call that, pressure waves. Those are neat if they don't give you PTSD. But the smell, again, if it doesn't give you PTS, you don't need the D part. Anyway, if it doesn't mess with you, the smells are nuts. The smells are crazy because it's flares and it's gunpowder and it's explosions and it's dust. And it's just awesome. I've not been to any national conference, been to a few state conferences to support 2A in Washington, Oregon, and South Carolina. Well, here's the problem. You live in the Pacific Northwest, and nobody cares about the Pacific Northwest, except for TriggerCon, which was more of a, let's make a couple of bucks off of people, from what I understand. There was nothing there's never been anything, even though Second Amendment Foundation is there, like is headquartered in Washington State. Y'all don't get nothing up there. Is that our fault? No, it's your fault for having a volcano up there. If you didn't like threaten everybody with a volcano, maybe there would be some events up there. Oh, that's a good point. And that is in April, right? I need to go to the gun side or the YouTube side. So yeah, that's a good point. Go over here, meet that guy, come over here, move that. Shoot, and copy. See, don't have to type nothing. And then put that in here. FYI, it's Defense's dad. Defense dad is the one that came up with that shoot, and Travis is assisting. Hosting a, I don't know if it's a gun channel shoot. I think they're just calling, is they calling it a gun channel shoot? I don't want to take that away if they are, but I'm going to say a community shoot in Nebraska. And if you're interested in that, get with Defense Dad before the end of the month. Get with them whenever you want, but let them know before the end of the month that you're interested or what. Right on. We have many volcanoes, at least 5 that I can think of. See, right now, he's letting everybody, reminding everybody of his how many volcanoes they got up there, just in case we forget. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just act like if I left Big Sandy in March, then where is that in Nebraska? Does anybody know? It probably matters. Is it in... DJ probably knows. Is DJ still out there? It's not in Omaha, and I doubt it's in Grand Island, which is where it should be. So I don't know where it is. Maybe it's in Lincoln. So that'll be the next one to put in there. All right, so next up is USCCA thing is going to be November 11th. So that's definitely closer to the end of the year. And that is USCCA Conciliatory Expo. I've never been to one. I think there's been one person in gun channels that used to go to it, but I don't remember who now. And I don't like it when things say, oh, I'm happening in Fort Worth. Why? Because Fort Worth is Dallas. It's just next door and they act like they're separate. And the rest of the world has to remember where Fort Worth is. And that's obnoxious because they could just say Dallas and we'd all know where it is. So that's what I'm saying, Dallas. And then it's November. And then we got all these blade shows now. Another one, Fort Worth. Pfft. That's what they're going to get from me when they say Fort Worth from now on. All right, so that is March 18. Oh, it's the same day as Big Sandy. I want to go watch machine guns blow stuff up or go look at knives on a table. Oh, I should go look at knives on a table. I'm not going to type nothing. Just go right there, grab it from there. Go in here. Once it's in here, it's formatted. I still have to capitalize it, which is technically typing. Not that bad. All right, there we go there. And now it's easier to just copy and paste this whole mess. Or no, it isn't. Dang it. Now we got this one in June. Let's see. March. Oh, wait, I don't have nothing. This one's in April. Then May, June. There we go. June in Georgia. And then we got this one in October. So probably right before the Big Sandy, because Big Sandy is usually closer to Halloween. But now I can go in and grab this blade show and just swap it into there and to there. April is Tulsa, thanks. So, do I still have that open? I do. Thanks. Put that in there. And March. Do you know when the... Oh, wait. Yeah, does anybody know when the Defense Dad and Travis P. shoot is? I know it's in April. And then where'd that go? April 2 and 3. So it's actually probably before that. So April 2 and 3. And we'll just say Wannemacher, something like that. And then the other one is in November. So we'll just copy this, go down to November. And, oh no, I think it is. Is it the same weekend as that one? Interesting. We can go look at that real quick and learn how to spell Wannemacher. You just type in Wannemacher and then the internet will tell you how to spell it right. Right there. And got April, and they usually tell you on the world's best website where their next one is going to be. Come on. Get rid of this home, of course. And then you get their link on the left, of course. And then you can see that it's November 12th and 13th. How bad is it that that horrible website has been that bad for so long that I know exactly how to navigate their horribly bad HTML website? But it's not horribly bad if you literally lived in that era. This is just like looking at a black and white TV for me. All right, so there's Wannemacher. And there we go. We got April, and it looks like, oh, snap. Wannemacher is in Tulsa, and Dallas is right next to it. So it is possible to go to both of those, but doom on USCCA for putting their stupid expo right on top of Wannemacher. I believe that is a, I want to say D move, but I don't want to get all people upset. That is a D move on USCCA. I don't have no problem with USCCA other than the fact that they've had a problem with me. They've slighted me in the past. So I have no problem saying I don't like them. But I don't go out to not like them. I understand that they do good stuff, but this kind of malarkey, I'm saying it. This is malarkey. This is the kind of malarkey move you can expect from that organization. All right, now we get Girl in a Gun. I don't think we're allowed to go to that, so we're not going to put that on the list. Clover, hear anything about AmCon? Weekend of June 4th for Nebraska. Oh, it's June. Why am I thinking April? Thanks. And then that is in the state of Nebraska. I see the DJ refused to answer, even though he lives in Nebraska. Is that even legal? So now we'll move this to the other side of Blade Show, just because I'm going to do it that way. All right, and then we got this, ban USCCA. Maybe they could limit their expo to like 10 booths, so that they're not high capacity, and then they'd be okay. Everybody would be all right with them. All right, we're taking Girl in a Gun off the list, but let's not slight the fact that Girl in a Gun is up to 500 ladies this year. 500 females are going to gather in Colorado, I believe, and they're going to do things like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. They're going to have sessions, facilitator, A-team reception, early bird lecture, registration check-in, range demos, conference kickoff, announcements, training sessions 1 through 6, and then a farewell. So however many days that is, a whole pile of days. And their speakers are this whole giant list. Look at some of the people on this list. The Complete Combatant, Beth Alcazar, Diana Mueller, CZ, we got Sarah and John from Filster. Those are holsters for girls. Organizations, the Tactical Games, Industry, Single Action Shooting Society. Are you kidding me? Competitions, they're all over the place. Talk about depth of field. Gabby Franco. And that's 500 ladies are going to that. Often, I can't even imagine. It was 400 and something, 444 last year. So it's up 60 in a time when you would think that everybody's going to be rationing down on stuff. No, they're ramping up. So I don't want to discount it, but I don't think I'm invited, just like AmCon. And I'm going to crash AmCon. I'm not going to crash that other one. So we'll get rid of all of these. Oh, I'm down. I'm done. Is that it? No, that can't be it. What else are we missing? So we got Big Sandy, which is where we'll start. We got Blade Show in Fort Worth, Texas. Then Wannemacher. That's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad. You could sneak a gun show in between that window. Then you got April to June. That's messed up. So there's nothing you can do there. There is nothing. That's a month of nothing. I don't even have to look at a map. I've done this enough to know that that is a month with nothing else happening. There's got to be something else happening in April. Then you get Blade Show in Atlanta for 3 days. But at the same time, the shoot is happening in Nebraska. That's a long haul. That's a lot of driving to try to get to both of those. There's going to be 3 Blade shows, and they've been going on for a long time. There's only ever been one of these shoots, and it's only happened in the one time. After June, you have all the way till September. Are you kidding me? There's nothing for the whole middle of the month, or the whole middle of the year, I guess. So, I guess the FAST, that OFAST shoot. Let's see when the OFAST shoot is. That's in June. That's in June or July, I think. The Oklahoma Full Auto Shoot and Trade Show, June 26th, 25th, and 26th. 20th anniversary. So, come on, man. You're going to make me type all this out again? Nope, because I'm going to go back. Never type nothing. Now we can go OFAST. When did I say it was? Dang it. June 25th and 26th. So you could go to Nebraska, swing down to Oklahoma, and go to this shoot, June 25th, come on, 25th and 26th. I guess I have to go like this, 26th. And then that is Oklahoma, basically. Then nothing. So that's basically how the calendar's looking this year. Normally there's Blade Show in June. I got that. Oh, and then nothing in July until August. And then this year, there's nothing happening in August. August is normally Sports South and TriggerCon. Yep, nothing. Blade shows are very important. How else do you find out about the latest box cutter blade or razor blades? Like the razor blades, there's the innovation in razor blades is nonstop. How would you ever keep up if you didn't go to 3 different shows to keep up with it every year? There are a lot of competitions that happen during the hot summer months. That's true. I don't go to any of them, and they don't do their matches. They don't do their like big things, I don't think, in the middle of the year. They kind of spread those out. But let's go to that. Shooting matches is another section of the thing here. You've got in January, USA Shooting. In March, SIG has their Relentless Warrior Championship. CMP does their Western Aggregate Rifle matches at Ben Avery, which is out here in Arizona. NCAA, National Collegiate, whatever, NCAA Rifle Championships are typically in March. All those are happening right now. Then you got in April, the NRA meetings, but that's not happening. Then you got USA Shooting, Rifle and Pistol, National Junior Olympic Championships happen in April. By the way, we just had a girl come in third, so bronze at the U.S. World, no, not U.S. World, but the International World competition last week. So your USA Shooting team just won bronze. Some girl did the other day, FYI. Then you get NRA Junior Airgun Championship in May. In June, USA Shooting National Junior Olympics Championship. Skeet Shooting National Championships. Skeet and Trap Junior Olympic National Championships. All kinds of national championships happen in June for the various types of shooting. And then I think I got sick of this because I'm not that into competition shooting, so that's about as much as I got on there. Or it ends. It could end. I don't know. I don't know all of it, so I don't know if this is all of it or not. Let's see. Major U.S. gun shows. How do we fit a couple of other gun shows in there? Let's not forget about the Florida gun shows. Huge, huge gun shows in Florida that happen. It looks like those happen. Oh, look, I got a link. So it happens in May of 22. So there's really no way to get to Florida, period. They screwed themselves by putting themselves out on a peninsula. One of the things I would like to get to is the collector show in Denver. And this is not it. This is one in Massachusetts. There's a collector show in Colorado, Denver, Colorado, that, man, I hope it keeps going before I can get up there because I suspect there's a bunch of old people. Yeah, look, there's a link to Wield. That would be the kind of thing that's not going to last forever, I think. Every time you refresh one of these pages, you get a different link down here. See that? There's Girl and a Gun. So anyway, we don't have that one in here. The gun show at Harward County Fairgrounds is massive. They have at least 30 tables of Maryland-approved stuff. That's a lot of stuff. I don't think you can have 30 tables in Maryland. What else do we got? Military dates? Nah, that's not a big deal. Laws, no. Go back to events. Go down here to gun show of shooting events. Oh, that's a dead link. Happens once in a while when you have a bunch of websites. So I don't see anything else in here. These are some things that are unfortunately no longer happening. Oh, Red October. Let's find out about that, and let's find out about Kalash Bash, Texas. See what's happening with them. Don't I have a link here? Come on. All right, we'll just go straight to it. See if they're still happening that. I don't remember seeing that on Instagram, but I definitely remember seeing Kalash Bash, Texas posting something just recently. So if it hasn't already happened, it looks like we got Kalash Bash happening for spring. Oh, maybe it has already happened. So it might have happened like right now. So it looks like the next one is in October. And that would be in, where's Eagle Lake, Texas? Anybody know? Clover, we're all looking at Clover. October 9th. So that would be right between Blade Show and Big Sandy. Blade Show is in Salt Lake. Oh, that's a horrible place for it. Come on. Come on, Kalash Bash. What are you thinking? So that would be going between Salt Lake City and Arizona. I would definitely not want to go to Texas. It's nowhere near there. So could go in Kalash Bash for doing it at the wrong time of year for me. Then we get to Red October. No, 10/23, 10/20. Come on, seriously? I must have gone to an old one, I hope. So let's find out. Red October. No, they still have it up here about 2001. So maybe they ain't doing one this year. Maybe they haven't come up with the new one yet. Yeah, this is all the itinerary for 2001. All right, well, so I guess we don't have a Red October. San Antonio. The whole month of August is National Shooting Sports Month. Oh, is that because of all of the shootings events happen that month? Like all the competitions happen that month? I'm going to buy more guns this year. If that isn't important enough to make the list, I don't know what will. Okay. I don't know why G23 is saying San Antonio. Oh, you're saying that's where that place is. Thanks, that makes sense. Okay. Well, that's cool. I wouldn't mind going to San Antonio again. All right, so we got everything in here. Now we have the big gun shows. We have the full auto shoots. Unfortunately, we've lost a big auto shoot. Let's take a moment to remember that. 2A rallies. Dun, dun, dun. That's half the fun of going to 2A is 2A rallies. So we've got Michigan coming up in September, probably at their capital. Let's see, September, October, like that. And this will be September 21st. So it'll be right before the Gun Rights Policy Conference. So their Second Amendment march is in Michigan is on a Wednesday. Yeah, whatever. That's what they're going to do. And then we got Illinois IGOLD happening in April. How cool would it be to go to that? Probably not, but if I'm in the area, go to it. So then we got the 2A rallies. Are there more 2A rallies? Let's go find out. 2A rally 2022. Boom. How many more we got? How many do we not know about? Arizona rally, we know about it already. Women's Defense League of New what now? Women's Defense League of New Hampshire, 2A Freedom Rally, Saturday, April 2nd, Concord, New Hampshire. We just seen a new 2A rally. That's what I'm talking about. Got a new 2A rally. So where is this one? This one is March 8th in New Hampshire. That's going to be tough to get to. That's going to be really, really tough to get to. Awesome. So everybody's sitting around going, New Hampshire don't do nothing ever. What does New Hampshire ever do? Well, they're having a 2A rally, right? Is your state having a 2A rally? Bet you not, because I'm looking right now and none of them are. Hampshire. Is that how you spell it? 2A rally. What do they call it? Girls are doing it too. What do you know? Girls doing it. 2A Freedom Rally 2000. What do they call it? 2022. All right, I got to call it 2A Freedom Rally. Nice. Just found a new rally. So this right there. Found a new rally. And look at how their Women's Defense League spells L with the stupid Beretta. Nice. So now we're going to look for any others. We already knew about Georgia's March for the 2nd on March 2nd. Nashville pulls off late rally. I didn't pull off no rally. Oktaw's rally, not enough in 2A consolation. I don't know what that means. Probably sports. Go to more. Should I? Is there anything? No. This is all garbage sports. So we're going to go back and put in Second Amendment Rally 2022. Got that one. Second Amendment Rally February, Capital Phoenix. Oh, we already went to that one. Georgia, went to it. New Hampshire, got it. Thank you. Oh, that was about Georgia. Fish cycle. What the hell does that mean? This one says March 5th. What did we miss here? Second Amendment Rally, March 5th. Cosa, Rome, Georgia. So there was some kind of Second Amendment rally in Georgia from some kind of fish. That's weird. There's that same one again. There's Second Amendment rally in Iowa Capitol, February 24th. That one already happened. Let's see, draws hundreds, nearly 200 Iowans turned out to the Iowa State Capitol to support what's to be known as Second Amendment Day. Nice. Second Amendment rally, Eventbrite, Facebook. What's this about? Pro Second Amendment rally, April 16th. Yeah, April 16th, 2022. Florida. Is this legit? Is this real? Is there really a Florida rally happening? So is that really happening? Is this for real? Who's running it? Police your trash. Don't be that guy. For more until Rally for Your Rights, Manasota. Let's find out what this is all about. Rally for Your Rights, Manasota 3. Pro Second Amendment demonstration, April 16th. Well, there you found another one. Rally for Our Rights, Manasota. Let's find out who puts this together. Our 2018 rallies were a success, so we're going to do it again. Bring your large U.S. flags and Gadsden flags. Bring your kids. Proudly wear your veterans, Second Amendment, other patriotic hats. Bring your signs. Police your trash. No attacks, nothing that could be hate speech. Don't be that guy. Seems pretty decent. All right, we found another rally. April 16th. April 16th. It's kind of by Atlanta. It's right after the Illinois IGOLD. Sarasota, Florida. Where's Sarasota? Is that right in the middle or is that at the top? I know it's not the bottom, I don't think. And what do they call this thing? Freedom Rally for Our Rights, Manasota 3. Pro Second Amendment. That's a lot of stuff to write. Freedom Rally for Our Rights, Manasota. All right. There you go. Another one. We just found another rally. I'll be adding those to the website. I won't make you watch me do all that. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. What else do we got? Phoenix. Uscca Grounds. That was that one in whenever. We already seen it. February 22nd. Already happened. Iowa State Capitol. Already happened. California. Second Amendment Sanctuary Rally set for January 6th. I missed that one. Flag Day Second Amendment Rally weekend in Massachusetts. What? This looks like I've been here before. Second annual Flag Day. What was that noise? Right, this one was set for June 12th of last year, and it looks like they haven't set it up yet for this year. So let's assume they're gonna. I probably looked that up earlier in the year. Pennsylvania 2A rally, same thing. I think I looked at this already, and they're still looking at last. Oh, no. I'll shut up. 2022 speakers. Well, are you going to tell us when and where? All right. How about getting there, sign up? Are you going to tell us when and where? Come on, Pennsylvania. Seriously? You hork2arally.com, and then you don't even tell us easily when your rally is going to be. This says 2021, so I don't like this part up here. News, issues, getting there. This is all 2021. Come on, Pennsylvania. If you're going to hork2arally.com, why not put on the main page a list of everybody's 2A rallies? What's that noise? You hearing that noise, or is that just me? Well, I'm assuming they're going to have a rally, but we don't know. Did you see Indiana has passed constitutional carry and it's on the governor's desk? You bet. Yep. If we go over to our 2A wrap-up from 2 nights ago, from Friday night, and the main, oops, I guess I have to actually click on the video I'm talking about. When you go to the description of that right at the top, I've got a summary here of everything that's been happening. So we've got Alabama passed. Georgia is at the governor. Indiana at the governor. Nebraska at the governor. Ohio at the governor. Which one will get it next? Connecticut has testimony no later than 3 p.m. today. So that already happened. So hopefully people in Connecticut got their testimony, and the Connecticut Citizens Defense League will be taking that recorded testimony to the legislature tomorrow on Monday. What else do we got? The Violence Against Women Act got passed. That's the worst news. But yeah, thanks for that update. But yeah, we're watching 4 states now sitting at the governor's desks. So that means you can make a phone call when and where it would be appropriate, and bug them, urge them, give them some insight as to your opinion on the situation and whatnot. Or not, because it's really not that big a deal sitting at a governor's desk. At least for some of the states, it's not that big a deal. I know for what, Ohio? I think Ohio, Tupperware said that it's just gonna sit there and pass in 3 days, and the governor can't do anything about it, literally. So he can either sign it or not sign it, but it's still going to happen either way. So if it's in that case, there's no need to write to the guy. All right, well, I'm pretty much trying to find Second Amendment rallies in 2022, and I think I found them all at this point. Simone Park. Oh, I see what they're saying. So basically, I think that's all the rallies. You know, I can only look at it so long. But now we've added a couple of rallies to the list, and we've got the big gun show. We've got a second big gun show. We have a couple of machine gun shoots. We've got some community shoots, or at least one. We've got the Gun Rights Policy Conference and AmCon. We've got some blade shows. We got a couple of exposition shoots like Clash Batch. We've got the expos, the big conventions. I think that's everything. Let me go back and see if I'm missing stuff because I have not been paying good attention to the side chat over here. So our show is in Texas. We got that on there. DJ doesn't go to Texas, so that's his problem. Thanks for the thumbs up. I did get Tulsa in there now. NRAM we got in there, right? NRA show. Wait, do we? Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't have it in here yet. So I thought I put it in here. Yeah, we put it in here. May, didn't I? No, I didn't. Duh. So I can put in all of this really. April, duh, May. So, stupid NRA. Yeah, let's not put any of that in there after all. So now we'll go down here and go grab that in regular case and not stupid. NRA, annual meeting and exhibits. Houston, Texas, May 27 and 29. Okay, good. Now we do have NRA in there. Oh, May 29. Okay, I just got that. And then June 4th was Travis's thing. Oh, you're telling me that. Thank you. November is that. We should ban the USCCA. That's Smeggy right there. NRA is May 27th. Okay, thanks for telling me that a bunch of times. Now I get it. A lot of competitions. Yep. Nebraska shoot in Lincoln, or no, is the Nebraskan shoot in Lincoln or the range south of there? Scrolling. Boom. Always at the end. Okay. All right, cool. So now I am going to take all of this, because this is what we together, mostly me, but you were watching, found together. So let's together gram it over to here. This is the video that you're in right now. And it might feel comfortable for you to be in this video, and it might feel a little uncomfortable for you if I edit the video that you're in right now. Boom. I just did that. So this might feel a little weird, sort of like having surgery while you're still awake and looking inside of your own abdomen as I enter, and paste all of that stuff into your abdomen or into your description, depending on how you look at this. And now it's just different. Now we're all a little different. We just had that happen to us, and now we all have this incorporated into the description of this video. It's just there. You just copy and paste, just like if it was, I won't get into it. So yeah, copy and pasted that into there. And now anybody that wants to attend any of these situations is now able to do it. But I can get rid of this stupid notepad, which is a little clumsy for those of us who are fluent and eloquent in HTML. And then I'll move this over like this. And now look at this. I have a nice, quick and easy, non-editable HTML list of all the stuff that we've accomplished this afternoon. A lot of times you'll go into a live show and what do? Blah, 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 blah. Or, oh, I'm scared. Oh, here's the reasons why we shouldn't do stuff. Or here's why they were told that we can't do things. Or, you know, all these other excuses and bullshit. And in this conversation, all of y'all, you, and you, you, and you, and you, and other people, you, right, all participated in creating this, which now exists. And y'all can copy and paste it and smush it all around and say, I made this, and I was a part of this. We made this happen on Sunday. And now anybody can use it for whatever they want. Here's what I'm going to use it for. I'm going to go over to Google. Google sucks, but they give us all these free tools. So why don't we go over here and start jamming them in here. So we're going to start in Tucson, and we're going to start just cramming stuff in here. Let's go to New Hampshire. You scared? I'm not scared. I got things I can do up there. I've never been to New Hampshire before. I don't even know if it exists, technically. So, New Hampshire. Yeah, I don't care. I'll go to New Hampshire. So let's move that up. And now we're starting in Tucson. We're going to New Hampshire. I'll blow off Big Sandy. All right, that's fine. Now we're going to Fort Worth. Going to Fort Worth. Then we're going to Tulsa. No big deal. Just, you know what? Let's move this over so we're not fighting. Let's not fight. There we go. Now we're going to Tulsa. No big deal. After that, we're going to Illinois. Springfield, Illinois. Look at Springfield Armory, because they know what they're talking to, who they're talking to, and in what context they're talking to me. Springfield, Missouri, because I would contemplate going there. Springerville, Arizona, which is better than all these Springfields. And then, like, you want to go to Springfield, Illinois? I guess. So now that was after Tulsa. Now, Sarasota, Florida. Do I have the gumption to go all the way to Sarasota, Florida for a freedom rally? I don't even know what it is. Yeah, it's for 2-8. Springfield, now Houston, Texas, which is, I'm going to leave it Dallas because screw you, Texas. And then Blade Show, Atlanta, Georgia. Is this too much? Is Google going? How long is? I think Google let me put like. Is it? I thought it was 10. Maybe it's 25. I hope it's 25 because then I'll get the whole trip in here. So there's Atlanta. Now we're going to Nebraska, and DJ refuses to tell us where in Nebraska, so we're just going to put anywhere in Nebraska in here. Nebraska City, Nebraska? Sure. Because of DJ, it's now going to Nebraska City. Let's take a look at that map. That's what some of us are willing to do for 2A. A lot of other people ain't willing to do this. Look at all the gun shops I could hit. Think of how many gun shops I'd be hitting on this trip. That is the kind of trip that we're talking about at this point. Where are we at? Now we're going to Tulsa again. Because I don't care. I'll go to Tulsa many, many times if I have to. The maximum number of destinations has been reached. So we're going to end this trip in Tulsa. Tulsa, Oklahoma. So the first leg of this journey starts in Tucson and drives to New Hampshire. Because I don't care. I'll do it. And then it goes to Fort Worth, Tulsa, Springfield, Illinois, Sarasota, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Nebraska, and then back to Tulsa. And that takes me through Arkansas at least once. So I could probably hit one of those museums, second of those museums. I can hit all three of these museums. I can make that happen. 9,639 miles. That's really not that many miles when you think about it. That's not that many miles. 143 hours worth of driving. I can do that in whatever number of days that is, like 7 or 8 days or whatever. No big deal. That's not a big deal. So this also spans from March 8th through, technically through June 25th. So that's not that long, really. It's like I got to leave right now. Wait, is the March 8th already happened? Shit. The New Hampshire Freedom Rally already happened. Damn it, I already knew about that rally. Why was I thinking March hasn't happened yet? So I did know about the New Hampshire rally. We only found one new rally, and it's barely a new rally because it's that one from Florida that I don't know if it's legit or not. Dang it. So I guess I can technically take New Hampshire off of here. And now what's after Tulsa? Michigan. Who wants to go to Michigan? Let's just put Texas on here. June. Oh no, that would be the end. Then it would be back to Tulsa, Tucson. So this is actually works out pretty good that we can't go to New Hampshire. It probably takes a few miles off the trip. Yeah, 7,000 miles instead of 9,000 miles. All right, so we leave Tucson. We go to Fort Worth, Texas for Blade Show. No big deal. Then we go to Wannemacher. All right. Then Illinois IGOLD. All right. Then Freedom Rally in Florida. Right on. Let's do it. Then NRA annual meetings. Then another Blade Show because of more knives. Then haul ass to Nebraska. This is the wrong place in Nebraska. Turns out Nebraska City is tip of the Nebraska, which is probably not where it is. So this is a fake. This whole thing is fake at this point. Let's make it in the panhandle somewhere so that it's a little more realistic for gas prices, huh? Can we do that? Can we agree on that? Now it's a little more realistic at 7,800 miles. Let's not act like Nebraska doesn't have a lot of driving. No matter what you do in Nebraska, you're driving. Then we go down to Oklahoma for another full auto shoot. Why not go to a couple of full auto shoots on this whole big thing? Because now we're going to just start at Big Sandy next weekend. Yeah, next weekend at Big Sandy. So this whole thing could technically, theoretically still happen. I could theoretically, feasibly still start this whole thing next weekend at Big Sandy. Come back at the end of June. So start with a machine gun shoot. Go to a blade show. Go to the largest gun show that's ever happened on the whole face of the planet Earth. Then go to the Illinois Gun Owners Legislation Day, something like that. Then go to Florida's 2A rally. Then go to the NRA annual meetings, Blade Show, Defense Dad and Travis's shoot in Nebraska. Then Oklahoma for another full auto shoot. Then come back home. That would get me everywhere except for Arkansas. And I could probably take the trip from Illinois back to Wannemacher easily. I could easily think of how many gun shows or how many gun shops. March 8th to the 18th. That's 2 weeks. So there's a gun show in between there. 18th through the 18th. Uh-oh. This doesn't actually work. Oh no, this is wrong. First off, shouldn't be on the list. It's already happened. Big Sandy and Blade Show are on the same weekend. So that's one of the things I didn't pay attention to. So I'll blow off Big Sandy. I've been to enough of them. So 18th through the April 2nd, there's enough for like 2 gun shows in here. So 2 gun shows, probably 4 or 5 gun shops. April, that's the next weekend. This is room for another gun show. So there's 1, 2 gun shows, 3, 4 gun shows maybe. May, oh snap, Smeg's throwing money at us. Thank you, I appreciate that very much. That would be 2 gallons of gas outside of California, so I appreciate that. Michigan, this is the other side of it already. So that's actually probably could get to quite a few gun shows in here too. An unknown number of gun shops and ranges. This would take you past Talladega. This would take you past that movie theater that turned into a thing in Nashville. This would take us through the place where they do the Train and Learn event in St. Louis. Oh crap, Train and Learn event. Train and Learn. That's open to everybody, not just girls. I guess I should put in NOC Train and Learn, and that will qualify it. No other choice, Train and Learn. Boom. Oh, there it is. Let's see, May 27th through 29th. So let's go put that over here real quick, like May 27th. April, oh, it's the same thing as the NRA meeting, so we'll put it in front of the NRA meeting. And yeah, that's literally the same weekend. So that would be I don't want to type it, so we'll go over here and NOC Train and Learn. Where'd it go? And that is in, I got it open still? No. Oh no, I clicked the wrong one. This one. It is in Leadington, Missouri. All right, so then we got Train and Learn in there also. Copy. I'm going to really quick just slip this into the video, so if you feel a little uncomfortable, feel a little odd sensation in your video description, it's just me poking around in here. It's no big deal. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to slice a little cut right before the NRA show. Just insert that and sew it back up. You didn't even know it happened. Here's a lollipop. Act like nothing happened. Suck it up. All right, there we go. So now that's added to it. And we got to put that on the map now. How do I get this in here? The trick is, because of stupid Google, it's going to want me to substitute something. Is there something that's on the way to something that I can... Blade Show is in Fort Worth on the way to Wannemacher, so I'm going to get rid of Wannemacher and then add Missouri. And then that would be like here after Florida. Yeah. Oh yeah, that would make it look interesting. So now it would be something like leaving Tucson, going to Fort Worth for Blade Show, going up to Tulsa, going across to Springfield, Missouri, Illinois, going down to Florida from Illinois, going back up to Missouri. So it's literally back and forth, literally. Then going to Texas, then going to Atlanta, Georgia, then going to Nebraska. That would be a drive. Atlanta to Nebraska. That would be an interesting drive. Atlanta through, that would take me through, what's that place called? Well, first off, it's Atlanta. So that's Glock, and that's Gunbroker, and that's a whole bunch of stuff. Eric is out there. I don't know if he'd want to hang out anymore. And then you go north out of there, and you get the Chickamauga Battlefield, and that is the R.J. Fuller Firearms Collection. I haven't seen that since 2012, so I'd definitely go back to that museum. Then it would be going to the Battle of Athens, Tennessee, and then that Doberman statue, which I missed, fucking sons of bitches. And then, I don't know if Barrett would let me back in, but that movie theater place, there's a ton of stuff to see in Tennessee. If you ever want to go fishing, this is a place to go fishing. And then, where was I going? To, I think that's on the way to KD's Train and Learn. Now that's 3 days of interesting stuff. Like that's 2A, like skill building to the max. Like there's nothing happening like that. Then trying to book down to Dallas. That would be the question, is if I would leave KD to go to Dallas for stupid NRA or not. And then it's going back to Atlanta. And that makes no sense, because I don't know if you've ever driven this road, but I don't like driving this road. I don't want to drive this road, and I do not look forward to driving that road. But I would do it for 2A. There's, what are they called over here? We've done factory tours here. We've done factory tours here. I don't know what's in here. Oh, you know what's in here? You know what's right here? Oh, snap. You know where I could go right here? Oh, snap. I could go, oh, wow, it looks really complicated like this. But somewhere in here is where Johnny Rollins' shooting show was filmed. Somewhere right in here. So that would be kind of neat. Go hang out on the field where Johnny Rollins' shooting show was filmed. I doubt very many people want to do that besides me. Let's see. Then it would be going to, where was I? Going to Atlanta. And then it's going to Nebraska. So that would be this freaking drive again. Through St. Louis. I've never driven from what happened? I've never driven from St. Louis to Kansas City. I don't even know if that's really a road. This would take me past where my van comes from. The van comes from this area of the world. Wannemacher or whatever it's called. Something over here is where the van comes from. So I go right past there. He likes to go there. He likes to look at all those other vans. Is this where Gunpowder Beauty is? Someplace in there. And then nothing to see here. And then I would be in Nebraska. There is a museum up here somewhere. Hunting and Trapping Museum or something like that. And then it would be coming back to Tulsa and then driving all the way back to Tucson. This drive is pretty boring, but hang out in Albuquerque. I would scoot this over to Albuquerque and go hang out with my friends in Albuquerque. And that would be 8,000 miles worth of trip. And then there would be a whole nother trip called the second leg of the tour, where it would go starting in September, going to stupid Michigan, up to Texas. Sorry, Smeggy. Up to Texas, and then, or what am I trying to say? Up to Michigan, down to Texas, over to Salt Lake City, or up to Salt Lake City, I guess, down to, oh, that's crazy. That would take me down to Texas, to Arizona, to Oklahoma, to Texas. Makes no sense. No sense at all. And then I would come back to Arizona for the other show. At this point, though, we're almost 2 hours in, and I can't imagine anybody in their right mind is going to watch any of this. Maybe listen to it. But Wentzville, thank you. Exactly. That's where they come from. Dang, that would be interesting. So now we know that it's probably, well, I tell you what. Can't. See, I wait. No, sorry, it wasn't because of you. It was because of different Michigander. How to make, I'd have to make another one, and then on that other one, I'd have to go over here, and I'd have to open up Google Maps. Seriously? What just happened? What just happened? What did it do? Come on, stupid Google Maps. Just give me that tab over here where I want it. Go being a jerk. Google Map, and then, oh, come on. If I had an intern, I wouldn't have to click any of these links. All the stuff would be clicked for me. I would just basically be sitting here, and then the thing would be handed to me, and I would go click, click, and it would be over. All right, so now, seriously? Now look how it's acting. Is that because this one is so complicated right next to it? Google can't handle having a bunch of complicated things on the screen? All right, so next it would be starting in Tucson again, and then heading to Michigan. Michigan, probably the capital of Michigan, which is Ann Arbor. So I would start in Tucson, and then it would take me to capital of Michigan. Okay, Michigan State Capitol, that's fine. And then we're going to, let's not fight, and let's instead move this over. Let's move this back over this way. I know, it just bothers Michigan people when I act like Ann Arbor is your capital. Ann Arbor is the capital of girls, or girls going to school. I think there's a girls' school in Ann Arbor, so I'd say that. Let's see, then we go to, where am I at on here? I am down here. Salt Lake City. Man, I'd like to go to Salt Lake City again. Oh, no, that's the right order. Salt Lake City, then Clash Bash, let's just say San Antonio. Thanks to whoever said that. G23. And then Big Sandy. I'll just type in Big Sandy. It'll know what Big Sandy is. Oh man, being a jerk about it, it's not. So we'll say Wiki Up, which it does know where that is. And then go to Tulsa. Tulsa, named after Tulsi Gifford. Or Gabbard? No, Tulsi Gabbard, not Gifford. And then Dallas. And then Tucson. How's that for an entire year's worth of traveling? That trip is only 7,000 miles. It's only 85 hours or 95 hours or something. So this trip, leg 2, you could say, would start up in September. So I would have a couple of months off to put new pinstripes on the van, buy new tires, relift it, lower it, whatever I'm going to do. First trip, take me helter-skelter all over the country, back and forth, zigzagging, never know where it's going. Kind of makes a little bit of a butterfly-looking thing, a little bit. Or a bat. I'm not allowed to say bat anymore, so we'll say butterfly. This looks like some sort of weird liver with an appendix hanging out underneath of it. And this takes us in some sort of crazy, weird loop-de-loop around the country. Totally missing Colorado, as if Colorado and Kansas were the plague and you were trying not to step on them or go anywhere near them. You literally don't even touch, well, yeah, you literally don't even touch these states hardly. Like, no, you don't even touch Colorado because it's got cooties. And Kansas, you got to touch it, but like barely. Like, oh no, you don't even have to touch Kansas. You got to go really, really, really close to Kansas, but you never even touch it. So that's an interesting route. And I wouldn't have to go to either of the states that look a lot like a rectangle. But I'd have to go to Michigan. And I could go past Chicago, and there's a Art Institute display of guns that I haven't been to because I refuse to park in Chicago. But I could figure out how to do that and go to that museum. What else do we got? Oh, I have an open invite to go to the place in Illinois, and I could go to the other place in Illinois. So there's that. This takes you right past Brownells, who's never sponsored anything I do. And then Horny Day in Grand Island is where bullets are made. You can take that tour for free. Anybody can take that tour. You get to go through Wyoming. That's always fun. Is there anything good in Wyoming down here? No. This is a desert. I've seen dinosaurs that came out of this desert before. And then it takes you to Salt Lake City. This, I believe, is one of the most dangerous places I've ever driven, right around in here. I did not like it. And when would this be? This would be driving from Michigan to Utah in October, in September, October. Ugh. I do not like the idea of driving down this hill in October, but I'll do it for 2A. Then you get to Salt Lake City, one of the coolest places ever. You drive up to whatever this town is called, Ogden, and you flip it over into satellite view, and you drop down into Ogden. Come on. You drop down into Ogden, you orient off of the railroad station over here and the railroad museum and all of this business, and you just simply drive off of the museum. You go down the street a little bit. You go to the street that's obviously this one, pretty sure, and then you drop your little yellow dude. Come on. Seriously? What was that all about? I didn't drop my yellow dude over there. Find the train station again. Find the city. And, oh, come on. What's going on here? Let's find the railroad tracks. There's the train station. There's the historic town. What are they doing to this historic town? Uh-oh. Well, I guess it's this one. Right here. I didn't realize how much work they've been doing to Ogden, Utah. Uh-oh. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, good. I missed it by a block. Whew. Scared the shit out of me. Drive to Utah, go to Ogden, and hang out at the building. Which gun was made in this building? Was it the 1911? Was it the lever actions? Or was it machine guns? Which guns did Browning and his brothers make in this building, which still has the Browning Brothers sign on the front from 1875? Does that give you a hint? What gun might have been invented in the 1870s in that building before Browning and his brothers moved? What are we talking here? Moved 1, 2, where is it? 2, no, not even. What did he move? 1, 2 blocks to this building. Can you see the difference in the size of these two buildings? This is one building. You see this tan building right here? This building right here is a Browning factory, was a Browning factory. This is the elevator of the Browning factory that was added after elevators were invented and the building was already built. You realize what you're looking at there? This building already existed. Browning was using this as a factory to build guns. And then the elevator was invented and they put an elevator on their building. They only needed an elevator because their other building was this building. This 3-story building right here that we just looked at, that was where what gun was invented? Yes, the 1911. And then once they invented the 1911 and got a contract, they built this building. Come on, look up. Seriously, there. Built this building. And you can go look at these buildings. You can go down to the floor of this one, or the whatever you want to call it, like the parking lot of this one. I'm letting go, Google. Let him go. Come on. Drop it. Drop it. Come on, Google. Why are you being a jerk? Drop my little dude here. Come on. Oh, it's not letting me. It's not letting me drop my little dude. Why is it being mean to me? I guess it's because I'm in the middle of what do you call it over here? And it can't handle it. Google's poor little computers can't handle whatever I'm trying to do over here. So if you go down into the parking lot right there, there's a little plaque on there that'll tell you that this is Browning's factory. So let's not forget here the orientation. If you're in Ogden, Utah, you've got the train station. This is where his actual museum is, on the second floor of this building. This section of the roof is, well, no, this section of the roof is Browning's museum. You walk out the door of Browning's museum and you walk down the street from Browning's museum, and then you walk down, I guess it's 3 blocks to this little side block, and you go to Browning factory number 2, not number 1, number 2. He invents the 1911 there, and then you walk across the street, basically, Browning museum or Browning factory number 3. After the 1911, he goes from 3 stories to 6, 9, 10, 11 stories. 1911, 11 stories, right? You see what I'm saying? That's the scale, and that is the orientation of the museum and 2 of the factories. And then you go about that far and about that far, and then you zoom into town and you look for where there is a certain place like this. So now here's his one factory. You go 2 miles down and a mile over, or a block down and 2 blocks over, and you zoom into right here. What? John M. Browning Mansion? Are you going to drop the little dude for me? No, because you're a big jerk, YouTube. So this is his house right there. I could have bought this house in 2010 when I was there. It was for sale, and I didn't buy it. I was going to put the gun website's headquarters in that house, but they wouldn't let me put internet, I don't think. But that's John Browning's house, right? And if you go across the street from his house, what is this little building here? What? That's John Browning's first factory. That building right there. And you could live in there. That's an apartment or something. Like, you can live in there. Some guy has an American flag hanging in there last time I was there. This is not a good part of town. So you can own his house. You can live in his first factory. You can walk 3 blocks away and hang out at the factory that the 1911s were built in. And you can walk another block or something away and hang out in, come on, is that it? Oh, that is it. Go to the building that the Browning or the 1911 was built in. And then you can go down a couple of streets and hang out at this building. And I'm pretty sure this was his first storefront, which was separate from the factories. So pretty cool little town, pretty cool little thing. Whenever you go to Salt Lake City, you can touch the building that the 1911 was invented in, and then you can go touch the building that the 1911s were built in. You can't do that with that clock. For one, it's a metric building, so it's slippery. You can't even touch it. And then second, it's in stupid Austria. This is in Salt Lake City. Anybody can go hang out there. All right, so how do I get this little stupid dude off of my screen? Is it gonna? Oh, look what's happening. I'm not touching nothing. I didn't touch nothing. Nothing. This is this is YouTube censorship. You're witnessing YouTube censorship. All right, thanks, YouTube. I didn't ask to go right there. So, oh, that was from an hour ago. It just barely zoomed in. So now we will drop it there again. This is in front of Browning's museum where the 1911 was not invented, but built. Look at that. So let's say you were like going to go work for Browning in 1913. This is what it would look like when you walked up to the building to get a job. You'd go, and then you'd walk in that door, I guess. So right now, though, you could walk over here and you could look at this little plaque right here, and it would tell you about Browning and how this is a 1911 factory. All right, we'll get it back out of there. That was a little side tangent, technically. Had nothing to do with the rest of the tour, other than the fact that I'd recommend going to Salt Lake City if you get a chance. It's pretty awesome. Salt Lake City looks awesome, too. It's just a cool little town. It's horrible navigation, but now that they got computer cars that you don't have to worry about how to get to anywhere, pretty neat. If you go over to here somewhere, there's some interesting stuff. Oh, there's all kinds of interesting stuff about Salt Lake, I suppose. All right, well, with that, we will be right about 2 hours for 2A. You're welcome. And we figured out how to effectively and efficiently drive something like 8,200 miles in the first part of the year, another 6,400 miles in the second part of the year, and effectively solve 2A. I don't know about solving 2A, but you would tie 2A together. You would effectively, if I carried a string, I could put all of 2A into a giant shish kebab, or I guess that would be more like Christmas lights of 2A, and then, you know what I'm saying? That would fix 2A probably. Is there any way to figure out how much gas would cost for that? I think do I get 18 miles to the gallon? So it would be tough. It would take a couple of dollars in gas. So let's say that you opened up a calculator like this one, and then you decided that, can you make this bigger? Is that a thing? Oh yeah, look at that. So let's say that you had 6,500 miles on one of them, and then you had 8,500 miles on the other one. That would be something like 15,000 miles. No big deal. So 15,000 miles, and does anybody remember? I don't get 30 miles to the gallon. I probably get 18 miles to the gallon. So let's just take 15,000 miles and divide it by 18. Is it 13? I can't remember what I get miles per gallon. Let's say 15 then. Are you serious? Come on. Oh my goodness, come on. Stupid calculator. Oh, look at that. If you divide 15,000 by 15, ironically, that comes out to 1,000 gallons. Interesting. Could have never figured that out. It'd be cool to have a 1911 that was built there, reminiscing its infancy documentary. That would be kind of neat. It would be neat to take, oh shit. I wonder if I could figure out when my 1911, old hacked up 1911 that I got. Because it is old. Man, that would be cool. Damn it, I never thought about that either. And I've been there like twice or three times now. One time I flew and it would have been difficult to bring it, but every other time I've driven up there, and now I'm pissed that I didn't bring a 1911 to his house. Oh, I'm pissed. Because I literally do have a real Colt. It's that old rusty one that somebody found in the desert. Damn it. Totally forgot about that too. Anyway, what does gas cost now? $2 a gallon? So we're looking at something like $5,000 in just gas. No, not 7,000 in gas. Come on. Yeah, I guess it's probably 13. So let's be real and let's use this. Let's blow the dust off this calculator. If it's 15,000 miles, we know that. We're going to divide it by 12 miles in that gallon, just to be realistic. I like to pop wheelies, especially when I'm on a road trip. So now we're talking 1,250 gallons of gas. And if we're talking an average of 550, should we say that? Do we have that kind of balls? 7,000, I guess G23 is right. Wow, $7,000. I think I would comfortably need $7,000 in the bank before I would take these trips. But that's all it would take. That's less than, well, it's less than a lot of things. In this world, that's less than a lot of things. It's not really that much. Now, how much time are we talking? How much time is this? Because anybody can throw $7,000 in gas at something. This is November through March. So that's basically the entire month. March, April, May, June, July, and then a couple of months off, September, October, November. So it's 8 months. So that's 8 months worth of bills. For me, that's another, a lot of money. So unrealistic, because during that time of driving, I'm not doing anything to make money for the bills. So yeah, definitely not a potential option for somebody who isn't doing this as an occupation or something, getting paid to do it, right? But interesting nonetheless. I do like looking at stuff like this for its feasibility, and except for, we did find two things technically. Big Sandy and the Blade Show are on the same weekend, and Train and Learn and NRA are on the same weekend, and Blade Show and the Defense Dad Nebraska shoot are on the same weekend. Other than that, you could literally get to everything, and a few of these things are a week or two between each other, so you'd have some time to unwind and just de-stress. because that you need that when you're driving this long. If you were to drive for 8 months, you'd need a couple of minutes to de-stress once in a while. And then you'd hit a lot of gun shows, a lot of them. So you would also need another couple of maybe $1,000 to go to all those gun shows. And and then you got to eat for 8 months. That's another $1,000. And then the dog likes to eat. That's another couple of $1,000. So it turns into about $18,000, I guess. Yeah, it's probably about right. All right. Well, so now we know. And if somebody said, wonder how much it costs to be 2A in 2022, you figure it costs about $20,000. And that would give you a couple of bucks left over, pay some taxes with it. Buy a chopper or a private jet. I like to bring my puppy with me, and she don't like to fly, so we're driving. Have extra in case of the increase in. It's only going to go down. Come on, man. The gas prices are going to go down. Here's what's going to happen. Russia is going to quit being tyrannical, and then the prices of gas are going to go down. So there's nothing to worry about. Come on, man. So anyway, that was a Sunday afternoon show. 2 hours for 2A. I've effectively, hopefully not wasted the time, because at least we've got, 1, we found a new 2A rally. 2, we figured out that somebody could technically do all this. Who's got $7,000 for gas and another $10,000 to fart around for the whole year? Think of it. Think about how many people. You want to know how many people are making that each month on YouTube? This is something that's feasible. I can't do it, but people can. So all it needs to be is on people's horizon, in people's awareness, and maybe it'll get done. Maybe it'll be something that somebody will do as a challenge, like how many 2A things can I do? Maybe one person doesn't have to do it all. Maybe it's how many of these things can we bring to the consciousness? How many of these things can we petition or get that word out on to get as many people aware of these things so that they're not happening in voids, that they're not happening out in the vacuum, and that they aren't just all on their own. What if there were whole channels devoted to just petitioning this type of projects and these type of events, and this concept of sharing different types of firearms communities with each other? How cool would that be? So put stuff out there. People want to pick it up, that's cool. If they want to leave it laying there, that's awesome too. Our Patreons make this happen. I don't have time to just sit around here doing nothing on weekends. I'm not independently wealthy. I'm actually pretty poor. But we got a bunch of Patreons, about 150 right now. Used to be 155, but times are like they are. So we appreciate every one of those people. They make it possible for me to make the decision to spend some time this weekend doing this. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I ain't trying to get you to buy some crap or worry about the color or the comfort or the angle or all that crap. Buy what you want, not buy what you want. But what's important doesn't change just because there's other things that are more urgent. I like that saying. And I think that if we continue to be distracted or diverted by every little thing that comes along, then our opponents will continually throw things at us so that we never get together and pay attention to the foundational things, to the fundamental things. And I'll continue to spend every moment I can for worrying about those things that'll continue to happen no matter what they frighten us with or whatever they charge us with or increase the prices on or make us pay for while we beat through this, just like we beat through the 70s, just like we beat through the 80s, and just like we beat through the 90s so that we could get the housing boom and the internet boom. There's going to be a boom on going to space. There's going to be a boom on feeding things vertically. There's going to be a boom on the different flow of data. You guys don't even know what packet transmissions are and mesh networks. Go learn about that. You don't think drones are going to be a boom? We're going to have booms in new materials and new construction techniques. Unless you've lost faith in the ability for humans to evolve, we are going to see, ebbs and flows in finances and in ambitions, and there's going to be people that exploit every level of it. The rest of us will continue to know that liberty requires eternal vigilance, and there's not an answer. So it is what it is. We're going to continue to work on it the way we work on it, and I appreciate the people that show up to be part of it. Those that show up live make it funner, and those that show up after the fact, don't even exist unless you leave a comment, honestly. Like, I see numbers, I see clicks, but unless we see comments, then you're not even there. So thanks to the people that show up live and make it possible to spend time on this stuff. And then just if they understood that their phone calls are the same as a buck, you know what I mean? Like, if everyone understood that we have influence, and that is every time we stop and look around, our adversaries stop and wonder why we're looking around. Every time we stop and look around because they made us, it encourages them to make us do things. So I don't care about the buck so much as that we all realize that we're in this together, right? So anyway, thanks to everybody for showing up live. And if you're listening to this in the future, I don't really think too many people do, but if you are, leave us some comments. I post this on UGEtube because I know the owner of the place over there, and he phone number. I still have their phone number in my phone. If you're listening on Gunstreamer, you're important. You matter. You're not on stupid YouTube. You're watching on a platform that actually cares about guns. Leave a comment. If you're not leaving a comment, you're just a bot. You're not even out there. So I'm going to quit challenging people that aren't even listening and say thanks to the people that did. Latino Locked and Loaded is up in a bit with Phoenix Ammo, people that are putting their money where it matters. They're funding with ammunition and support people that are getting work done. That'll be an interesting interview. Later on this week, and Saturday, G23 has Mike on, right, from Walk the Talk America. I think Brooke has somebody coming up on something on Saturday also. So you've got some interesting interviews coming up. Clover and Ghost, I think, are going to some kind of events. They'll be hopefully chatting about the events themselves and not just the stuff there. They usually do. And then we got Wannemacher coming up. Sounds like a bunch of NEA's friends are going up there. Matt's friends are going to go up there and make it some kind of meet and greet type of thing. And then you got all the gun channels people that like to cover the event. They're still going to be there. There's no table this year, which is probably good because those are a bunch of people that are basically oil and water. It's going to be an interesting Tulsa. And then we got the other stuff happening for the rest of the year. So thanks everybody for showing up. I'll quit saying that, and we'll be back to pick you up later. Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals at gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching gunwebsites.com.
Hey, did you know that you could help support our future projects and let everyone know you're a fan of what we do? Check out our print-on-demand store. We have a tab here on YouTube. When you click on it, you can choose from a bunch of different items. We have shirts and posters and coffee mugs. Click on the one you like. When you find the design you want to put on it, choose a color and a size if it's appropriate. And when you purchase these items, a portion goes to help fund our future projects. We really do appreciate your support. You get some cool stuff. When you get that stuff, post pictures here and on other platforms, and we'll hook you up next time you order from our Gear website store. Thank you for your support of gunwebsites.com.